So I saw something today I didn't want to see. It's an FSD issue, but it's not an FSD issue, it's a lack of FSD. Emergency lights. There were a bunch of emergency lights, and traffic was backing up. And then I saw at the light was a wheel, just a wheel with some metal attached to it. And as we were stopped there, I noticed it was rounded. And I don't mean round that way. I mean it was the rear wheel of a motorcycle. The rear wheel with metal still attached of a motorcycle, and that's a lot of metal. That's a lot of damage. And there were people standing around comforting each other, and there was the emergency responders, the first responders, went to the ambulance and they grabbed a sheet and they walked around out of view. And the light turned green and we went through the light. And what we saw was them putting the sheet over the body. The motorcycle was unrecognizable. It was a twisted chunk of metal. It was just, if it wasn't for some scattered plastic fairings, you wouldn't know what you were looking at. And the body was similarly in a shape that I would not consider a traditional human configuration. I didn't see it well. My wife said the inside of the helmet was full of blood. A car ran a red light and did so at substantial speed because, well, we don't know why. We don't yet know. Maybe the driver wasn't paying attention. Maybe the driver was distracted or intoxicated. We don't know. It looks like the driver tried to swerve at the last minute because their vehicle was up on the median and smashed well into an obstacle there on the median. It was... we need FSD. We need all these safety standards that are becoming more and more common. We need them. It is time. That's, my wife said, I hope the man didn't have family. And I said, everyone has family. She said, well, I meant a wife or kids. Well, I mean, he deserves life. His siblings, his parents, his neighbors, his friends, his boss or his employees or everyone deserves to have that guy around, I assume. It's forward collision warning is a thing. It's very common. Systems that will make incidents like this less and less common are already a thing. I'm not asking to change the future. I'm saying the present is already here, and this is what we have and what we need, and we need to embrace it. So what I'm doing is I'm saying, Dan O'Dowd, I'm going to ask you to come on my show again, and I'm going to ask you to defend this. Defend convincing people that the safer system is the less safe system because you've got some bug all the way up in there, Dan. Because I'm angry, and I'm stressed out, and it's a bump in my day, but it is the last bump in this person's life. And for the driver who killed him, it's going to change them forever. When we came back from the store, hour later, probably an hour later, the whole area was taped off. It was roped off, with police tape, because there is now a homicide investigation underway. And they have to do all their forensics. They have to recreate the scene. Even if there's cameras, you need to take your measurements and your pictures and all that. This is something that doesn't need to happen anymore, Imagine being the last person to die of smallpox. This is preventable. And the technology's there. And some people are going out of their way to tell people, don't use it. Whatever you do, don't use it. Why don't we tell people to go back to smoking? Why don't we tell people that asbestos is a great thing to use for everyday life? We could do all that, you know. It's just a bad idea. So what I'm saying is, life is precious, and your ego is not worth it, Dan. It's not worth it. There's no reason for this. It's all preventable and avoidable. And the stats don't lie. Cars with safety features like forward collision prevention save lives. Features like autopilot save lives. Features like full self-driving beta, supervised by a human driver, save lives. Well, only if the driver's attentive. The numbers don't lie. And there is cabin monitoring and wheel nag, both very frustrating. Drivers are attentive. There's no one safer than someone inside or outside of a Tesla using full self-driving beta. And I'm getting annoyed by the lies, but I'm getting angry by the loss of life. This didn't need to happen. It didn't deserve to happen. And that's it. That's all.